The leader of the Leicester Alliance, Claude von Regan, prefers to stand in the back rather than take to the front lines himself. As such, his unique masterclass, the Barbarossa, sees him atop a white wyvern armed with a bow, where he can both survey the battlefield and contribute to it from afar. This unique playstyle can bring a lot to any Golden Wildfire playthrough, so let's jump in and find out what it can do. The Barbarossa's regular attack string consists of 7 attacks. You will fire off 3 arrows, fire out 5, shoot a triplet of arrows down by your feet, dash forward with your wyvern, do a flip in the air followed with a short arrow volley, do a spinning volley of arrows, and then finish with a landing tailspin. The Barbarossa is one of the 5 classes in this game that are locked to specific characters, the others being the unique classes for Edelgard, Dimitri, Shez, and Byleth. Uniquely, the Barbarossa is the only one of these that is mounted, meaning that Claude's moveset changes entirely if you dismount. However, in practice, with both the regular attack string and strong attack string, the moveset is simply borrowed from the archer/sniper line. I will cover the infantry sniper moveset as part of my Bow Knight guide in the future. However, for the rest of this video, I will simply focus on the unique moves of the mounted Barbarossa. With that being said, let's jump over to the strong attacks now. The Barbarossa's first strong attack is entirely built around your class action gauge, which can be found at the bottom of the screen. The gauge fills slowly over time, and it also can be charged from attacking enemies. Do note, however, that this is only from still living enemies, so juggling bodies and attacks will do nothing to charge it. The charge builds up a total of 3 times, represented by these fireball symbols, and when you hit the button, Claude will cause his wyvern to spit out 3 fireballs, which will actually continue burning where they rest for a time. These fireballs can actually have their time limits stack over with each other, meaning that you can have multiple fireballs all over the field. I find this class action builds up quite quickly compared to many others, and it should be used pretty freely. It's a great extra bit of damage to throw in at the end of combos as you will. However, I have also found combining it with Claude's bow skill Falling Star, which is available only from his hero's relic, can do a great job of trapping enemies in a DPS zone that they can't easily escape from. Moving on, the Barbarossa's second strong attack will have the wyvern do a flip, knocking enemies into the air with its tail, which is followed by a blast from Claude. Like all other strong attacks in this slot, this is used to launch your enemies into the air for extended juggle combos. For your third strong attack, Claude will spin in midair to do a strong swipe with the wyvern's tail. This comes out quickly and is a good source of instant damage. Next up, the fourth strong attack will have you create a whirlwind in front of you, which will suck in enemies nearby before eventually spitting them out. The fifth strong attack will have Claude jump high into the air and fire a strong arrow right at the ground in front of him. This arrow will then summon a whirlwind to further punish enemies that are caught in it. Next, the sixth strong attack will have Claude go on a little ride forwards, along the way summoning up 3 whirlwinds, and he then finishes this attack by shooting a fiery blast forward. This one is actually a pretty great area clearer, and if you want, you can mash strong attack to use a charge of your class action gauge to finish it off, rather than just the one fireball. For the seventh and final strong attack, Claude and his wyvern will spin, sending 5 arrows out in a star shape all around him, which is another great way to take out multiple enemies at once. With all of Barbarossa Claude's attacks covered, let's put everything together and see how it all ends up. Altogether, I quite like the Barbarossa's collection of attacks. I am a big fan of mobility in this game, both for characters you control, as well as allies that you're ordering around. In a non-competitive, non-online game like Three Hopes, when it comes to these guides, I really should be recommending the optimal strategies. I very much prefer mounted units because they let you engage and disengage with rapid efficiency, as well as let you be able to respond to threats or take out targets much faster, even if you're just ordering those units around. Unlike the other character-locked classes, Claude's Barbarossa is of course mounted, which means that it gives the only other competitor for bow units, the Bow Knight, an actual run for its money. Like the other class leader masterclasses, Barbarossa comes with Charm, which is an area heal upon defeating enemy commanders, and the bow's Buster skill, Gauntlet Buster, as level 5. you also get stat increases compared to other classes. When we compare this to Bow Knight, however, although you get lesser stats, you in exchange get Bow Fair, which increases your bow critical hit rate, which I think can make up for those lessened stats alone. Of course, you also get Gauntlet Buster level 4, which is only a 5% decrease in damage to Gauntlet users compared to the level 5 version. If you ask me, it's really hard to choose which one to go for. So I'm gonna have to say that ultimately for Claude, it's probably gonna come down to taste. Whatever you choose, the Barbarossa itself is undeniably a great class. Claude is pretty at home in the air, and once you take him to the skies, none may be able to stop you. Big thank you to my top patrons Henry Gutierrez, John Morrison, Ryan Poe, and Shin Lu, as well as to all my other patrons. If you'd also like your name to join this list of people supporting the channel, please check out the link in the description. Thank you all very much.